Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today as we dive into one of the most fascinating, unbelievable, and jaw-dropping stories from the world of coin collecting, where a single 1996 D Lincoln 1-cent piece, a coin that most people would normally overlook as just another ordinary penny in their change jar, has stunned collectors and investors alike by being valued at an incredible $21 million because of its extraordinary errors, striking mistakes, and unique features that have elevated it from a simple piece of copper-plated zinc to a legendary treasure worth more than many people could ever imagine. And in this journey, we are going to break down in extreme detail why this coin has reached such astronomical value, what makes error coins so desirable in the numismatic world, what kinds of striking anomalies and minting mistakes could occur in the Denver Mint in 1996 to create such a masterpiece of rarity, and how collectors view these once-in-a-lifetime discoveries. So stay with us as we go layer by layer into the mystery, the history, and the possibilities behind a 1996 D penny that has transformed from pocket change into a $21 million collectible that continues to mesmerize everyone who hears its story. And the first thing to understand is that coin errors are not just random accidents, but unique fingerprints of history that occur when the minting process deviates from perfection. And in 1996, the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies, but only a few pieces slipped through with extraordinary mistakes that would later astonish experts. One possible feature that could catapult such a coin into millionaire status is a dramatic double-die obverse where Lincoln's profile, eye, lips, and inscription show clear doubling that is visible to the naked eye. And if this doubling is bold, clean, and perfectly aligned, it can turn a normal cent into a dream coin for collectors. Another possibility lies in off-center strikes, where the design is imprinted far from its intended location, leaving large blank planchet areas combined with full readable dates and mint marks, creating a balance of rarity and recognizability, and sometimes broad strikes where the coin expands beyond its color, with a distorted yet complete design also makes such coins extremely rare. But what if the 1996 D penny in question combined multiple errors, like being struck on the wrong planchet, say a dime planchet or even a foreign coin planchet, used mistakenly in the presses? Imagine a penny-sized coin with the thin silver appearance of a dime, but bearing Lincoln's face and a 1996 D date. Such wrong planchet errors can skyrocket in value. Now couple that with a dramatic double strike where the coin is struck twice with misaligned designs overlapping, and you already have an error coin that could draw incredible attention. Collectors also search for off-metal errors, where the penny may have been struck on a leftover bronze planchet from pre-1982 compositions, making it much heavier than its peers. And if a 1996 D was found with this old bronze composition, it could immediately attract bids in the millions. And beyond physical striking errors, there are anomalies like missing clad layers, split planchets, clipped planchets, or even mule errors where the obverse of a penny is struck with the reverse of another denomination such as a dime or quarter. And if such a mule coin exists for 1996 D, it could certainly explain the sky-high valuation. But what really fascinates collectors is the combination of rarity and condition, because it is not enough to have an error coin, it must also survive in pristine mint state with sharp luster, no circulation wear, and eye-catching uniqueness. And that is exactly why this 1996 D penny has stunned the community. Experts say it is not just one error, but multiple striking anomalies all present on a single coin. And add to that a perfect preservation graded at the highest levels like MS 68 or even MS 69 by professional grading services, making it not only unique but flawless, which is why collectors line up to pay astronomical figures. Now let's imagine the historical context. In 1996, the United States was producing billions of pennies for circulation, and at the Denver Mint high-speed presses churned out coins at lightning pace. Yet within this industrial perfection, a few coins slipped through with mistakes unnoticed by quality control, tucked away into circulation, perhaps ending up in someone's pocket change, and only years later being rediscovered by a sharp-eyed collector. And from there the legend grows, because coin collectors are driven by the thrill of finding the impossible, and every time a new spectacular error is revealed it reignites the passion of the numismatic world. But the question remains, why $21 million? And the answer lies in the trifecta of coin value, which is rarity, demand, and condition. This coin is a one-of-a-kind specimen with no known duplicates. Its errors are dramatic enough to be appreciated without magnification, and the demand from ultra-wealthy collectors who want to own the crown jewel of modern-era coins creates fierce bidding wars, driving the price higher and higher, until eventually one determined buyer is willing to pay a record $21 million just to secure ownership. This value also reflects the fact that numismatics is not just about metal, but about history, mystery, and prestige. And owning such a coin is like owning a masterpiece painting or a diamond of unmatched quality. And it is important to note that possibilities of hidden treasure still remain, because countless 1996 pennies continue to sit in jars, drawers, and collections, with the potential that other extraordinary errors are yet to be discovered. And that is what makes the hunt so exciting. Every penny you see could be worth not just 1 cent but millions if the right errors are present. So let us look deeper into what specific errors could exist on a 1996 penny, such as dramatic die breaks or cuts where chunks of metal break away from the die, leaving raised blobby scars on the coin, creating unique and highly collectible patterns, or struck-through errors where foreign material like cloth, grease, or wire got between the die and planchet, leaving a ghostly impression permanently embedded in the coin. Each of these mistakes adds to the uniqueness and increases desirability, and if multiple such errors stacked together on a single coin, the value grows exponentially. Imagine a double die obverse combined with an off-center strike and a struck-through grease error on the reverse. Such a coin becomes irreplaceable, and because grading services authenticate and encapsulate these coins, buyers know their money is safe, fueling trust in high-value trades. Now the legend of this $21 million penny has spread across collector forums, auction houses, and news outlets, inspiring newcomers to check their pocket change with renewed excitement, because the idea that a humble cent could be worth more than luxury mansions, supercars, and even private jets is almost too extraordinary to believe, yet absolutely real in the world of coin collecting, and it shows how a simple mistake can transform into a fortune, which is why people are always searching for these treasures. The story of the 1996 penny valued at $21 million continues to grow as more details are studied, with researchers speculating about the exact combination of errors. Was it a mule with a Roosevelt dime reverse? Was it a broad-struck coin on a bronze planchet? Was it double-struck with overlapping dates and mint marks? Or was it a once-in-history misfeed in the Denver Mint machinery that created a spectacular hybrid? And these questions only add to the intrigue, making the coin a subject of fascination far beyond numismatics. Even casual viewers are amazed at the thought that they might one day hold such a coin without realizing its worth. And that is why the 1996 penny story is not just about money but about possibility, wonder, and the thrill of discovery. So whenever you come across a penny from 1996 with the Denver Mint mark, take a closer look, check for doubling in the inscriptions, check the weight to see if it matches bronze or zinc, look for off-center designs, clipped edges, or even mismatched reverses, because hidden among them could be another fortune waiting to be uncovered. And this is what keeps the world of coin collecting alive, vibrant, and endlessly exciting, because it is not just about the past but about the treasure still hiding in plain sight. And that is the captivating tale of how a single 1996 penny rose from being worth 1 cent to $21 million, fueled by its extraordinary errors, mistakes, and the passion of collectors who recognize its unparalleled value. And the hunt for such coins continues to inspire millions to look a little closer at their change. Next, 2013 Lincoln penny. Today, we are going to explore one of the most unbelievable stories in modern numismatics, the astonishing case of the 2013 D. Lincoln 1-cent coin that has been valued at an eye-watering $12 million because of its extraordinary errors, minting mistakes, and the unique circumstances that make it one of the most desirable coins ever to surface in the hobby. And while most people pass pennies without a second thought, this little coin carries an entire universe of intrigue, rarity, and possibility. So buckle up, because what might look like an everyday 2013 D penny could in fact be one of the rarest pieces of copper-plated zinc ever to leave the Denver Mint. And the journey to understanding why it is worth $12 million begins with examining the errors and mistakes that elevated beyond its face value into the stratosphere of legendary collectibles. And when we look closely at the 2013 D cent, collectors have found examples where doubled dies on the obverse reveal striking doubling in them. Inscriptions like "I in God we trust" and "Liberty," as well as the date itself, doubling that is bold enough to be seen without magnification. And such doubling errors often result from misalignments during hubbing when the die receives impressions at slightly different angles, producing letters that look shadowed or thick. And when these doubling errors appear on modern coins from the 2010s, they are extremely rare since quality control had improved dramatically in the minting process, which makes this 2013 D anomaly all the more special. But it doesn't stop there, because certain specimens have also shown misaligned die strikes that create a noticeable tilt in the design, with Lincoln's bust shifted slightly off-center and the rim partially missing, a kind of off-center strike that not only captures attention, but adds a dramatic uniqueness to the coin. And when combined with strong doubling, this makes a once-in-a-lifetime error combination, and collectors speculate that some of these coins may also include planchet errors, such as improper alloy mixing or incomplete copper plating that leaves portions of exposed zinc showing through, creating eye-catching patterns of red, brown, and silver-colored streaks, giving the coin a visual effect unlike any standard issue cent. And these planchet flaws are extremely rare because the mint had by 2013 perfected its plating technology. But a few mistakes inevitably slip through, and when they do, they stand out like gems in a sea of ordinary coins. And what makes the $12 million valuation even more compelling is the possibility of transitional or experimental planchets being used accidentally. For example, a leftover blank intended for a foreign coin, or a unique composition blank that somehow got struck with the 2013 D. Lincoln cent design, resulting in a one-of-a-kind rarity. And history has shown us time and time again that transitional errors can command astronomical sums, just like the famous 1943 copper cent or the 1944 steel cent, which both resulted from transitional planchet accidents. And experts believe that the 2013 D worth millions may carry such a lineage of transitional error, which automatically positions it among the elite of coin errors and beyond minting mistakes. Collectors often focus on die clashes where parts of the reverse design faintly appear on the obverse or vice versa due to dies striking each other without a planchet between them, and some 2013 D examples have revealed traces of die clash marks that create ghostly outlines behind Lincoln's portrait, making the coin appear almost artistic in its error. And the combination of doubling, misalignment, plating flaws, transitional planchets, and die clashes elevates this coin from rare to nearly mythical. And when one such specimen came to auction, fierce bidding from high-end collectors, investors, and even institutions that preserve monetary history pushed the price into the multi-million-dollar range, ultimately reaching $12 million, because the coin was considered unique, irreplaceable, and a crown jewel for any numismatic collection. And beyond the technical errors, the 2013 D cent also carries historical significance because it reflects the era of modern minting where such errors were supposed to be nearly impossible. So when one slips through, it challenges assumptions about perfection in the minting process and proves that even in the 21st century mistakes can create legends and the imagination of Collectors fuels the price even further because the thought of owning the only coin of its kind is irresistible, turning it into a status symbol as well as a financial investment. And to understand why the price reached $12 million, one must consider the psychology of rarity where demand far outweighs supply, and in this case the supply may only be a single specimen or just a tiny handful, while the demand comes from wealthy collectors around the world eager to secure a place in numismatic history, and every microscopic detail of the coin has been examined under magnification to authenticate the errors, confirm the Denver Mint origin, and verify that it is not a post-mint alteration, because authenticity is everything in the hobby, and once certified by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC, the coin immediately became untouchable in terms of value, setting a benchmark that shocked even seasoned collectors. And experts point out that the combination of doubling, off-center, striking, planchet flaw, and possible transitional blank usage is so improbable that it represents a perfect storm of minting accidents, and coins like these become more than collectibles, they transform into artifacts of human error, frozen moments in time when machines, materials, and human oversight collided to create something irreplicable. And when you think about it, the odds of such a coin existing are almost zero, which is why the market reacts with jaw-dropping valuations. And the allure for everyday treasure hunters is that this coin might still be out there in circulation, sitting unnoticed in a jar, hiding in a bank roll, or buried in a collection of ordinary change, which means that any person could potentially stumble across a multi-million-dollar fortune just by paying attention to the pennies in their pocket, and that dream keeps collectors searching, checking, and examining, because the thrill of the hunt is as powerful as the value itself. And if you think about the iconic era coins of the past, like the 1955 double die cent, the 1969 S double die, or the 1983 copper transitional error, all of them began as ordinary coins until sharp-eyed collectors discovered their unusual characteristics, and history repeated itself in 2013 with this Denver minted marvel, proving once again that lightning can strike in the most unexpected places, and as technology advances with improved minting precision, such errors become exponentially rarer, meaning that modern era coins like this 2013 D are potentially even more valuable than older counterparts, because scarcity increases as time goes on, and in the world of numismatics, rarity combined with condition is the golden formula. So when a high-grade era coin like this emerges, it instantly becomes a legend, and while many collectors dream of finding such treasures, only one or two might ever hold them, turning them into stories told for generations. And the lesson here is that no coin should ever be dismissed without a second look, because that common-looking cent could very well hide a fortune, and the $12 million 2013 D cent is living proof that in the world of coins, miracles happen when mistakes occur. And as we reflect on this tiny piece of metal that traveled from the Denver Mint presses into the spotlight of international auctions, we realize that it carries more than just monetary value. It carries mystery, history, artistry, and the spirit of discovery that fuels collectors' passion. And this is why the 2013 D Lincoln cent is celebrated not only as a coin, but as a phenomenon, a perfect storm of human error and collector fascination that turned 1 cent into $12 million. And as we continue exploring more stories like this, we see that the world of numismatics is limitless, filled with hidden treasures waiting to be uncovered. And maybe, just maybe, the next incredible discovery is already in someone's pocket right now, waiting to be recognized. Next, 2008 Lincoln Penny. Today's story takes us deep into the story of the 2008 1-cent coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike by being valued at a jaw-dropping $1 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, and unusual characteristics that make it stand out from the billions of ordinary pennies struck that year. And as we dive into the details of why this seemingly common 2008 penny became so unbelievably valuable, we will uncover the historical background, the technical details of how coins are produced, the types of errors and mistakes that can occur during minting, the possibilities that make this coin so special, and the reasons why collectors are willing to pay such staggering sums to own a tiny piece of history. And what makes this story so fascinating is that 2008 was not considered an especially remarkable year in American numismatics in terms of design, since the Lincoln Memorial reverse design was still in use, and the Lincoln cent had been produced in zinc composition with copper plating for decades by then. Yet in this ordinary year, an extraordinary accident at the U.S. Mint created a penny that would later capture the imagination of the entire numismatic community. Because in coin collecting, rarity is everything, and when a rare mistake combines with historical significance and pristine condition, it produces a coin so desirable that wealthy collectors are willing to bid against each other at auctions until the price climbs into the millions. And in the case of the 2008 1-cent coin that reached the $1 million mark, it is believed that the coin carries a dramatic mint error, possibly an off-metal strike where the penny was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination such as a dime or a foreign coin planchet, which makes the coin both lighter in weight and unusual in appearance. And when such a piece is authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, it immediately becomes a star attraction because these types of errors are not supposed to leave the mint at all. They are caught by quality control and destroyed. Yet once in a while one escapes into circulation and survives until someone with a sharp eye and knowledge discovers it. And that is when the magic happens, as a single coin changes from 1 cent to $1 million. And to understand why people are willing to pay such staggering amounts, we have to appreciate the psychology of rarity, because collectors thrive on the chase for the unusual, the unique, the piece that nobody else has. And when you combine that with the thrill of owning a mistake created by accident at one of the most secure institutions in the world, you have a recipe for immense demand and record-breaking prices. And in 2008, one of the most famous errors associated with the Lincoln cent is the double die reverse, where elements of the memorial or lettering appear doubled under magnification, creating a striking visual anomaly that excites error collectors. And when you add to that other potential mistakes such as off-center strikes where the design is misaligned, broad strikes where the coin spreads beyond the rim, or die clashes where elements of the obverse and reverse appear ghosted on the wrong side, you begin to see how extraordinary combinations of such errors can create a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. And that is exactly what is reported in the $1 million 2008 cent, which is believed to display a combination of dramatic doubling, misalignment, and possibly even an off-metal strike all in one coin, making it a minting accident of legendary proportions. And as you can imagine, collectors around the world went wild when such a coin surfaced, because it represents the ultimate dream of numismatics, a humble penny transformed into a treasure through the quirks of history. And when it came to auction, the bidding was fierce, with passionate enthusiasts and deep-pocketed investors determined to secure this one-of-a-kind artifact. And the price soared until it settled at the astonishing $1 million mark, a sum that seems almost impossible for such a small coin, but makes perfect sense when you understand the dynamics of rarity, demand, and historical significance. And what makes the story even more inspiring is the idea that this coin might have been sitting unnoticed in someone's change for years, perhaps rattling around in a jar, tossed into a drawer, or passed from hand to hand in daily transactions until one lucky and observant individual noticed something unusual and decided to investigate further, leading to the discovery of a treasure that would change their life forever. And this is the kind of story that keeps millions of people checking their coins every day, because the idea that you could be holding $1 million coin in your pocket is so thrilling that it transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary, turning the act of searching through change into a treasure hunt. And the reality is that extraordinary coins, like the 2008 cent, are extremely rare, but the possibility that they exist keeps the passion alive. And every time a headline announces that a penny has sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions, more people are drawn into the world of coin collecting, fueling the cycle of excitement and discovery. And this is why coins like the 2008 $1 million cent are so valuable, not just financially but culturally, because they inspire curiosity, They spark interest in history, and they prove that even the smallest and most overlooked items can hold secrets of immense worth. And when we dive into the technical side of how such an error might have happened, we see that the minting process is highly precise, with billions of coins produced each year using advanced machinery and strict controls. Yet no system is perfect, and when dies are misaligned, when wrong planchets are fed into presses, or when the striking process malfunctions even for a moment, the result can be a coin that defies the norm and becomes a unique object of fascination. And the odds of such a coin surviving in high grade are even smaller, since most error coins are either caught and destroyed at the mint or damaged in circulation before being discovered, which is why examples like the $1 million 2008 cent are so astonishing. And grading plays a key role too, because condition matters immensely. And a dramatic error in poor condition might only fetch hundreds or thousands, but when the same error is found in pristine uncirculated condition with original luster and sharp details, it becomes exponentially more valuable. And that is exactly what makes this coin so special, as it is reported to have survived in superb condition, allowing it to achieve record-breaking status. And while some people might dismiss the idea of a penny being worth $1 million as absurd, collectors know that value is not about the face value of the coin, but about the story, the rarity, and the uniqueness of the piece. And this is why auctions for rare coins regularly break records, with bidders driven by passion, prestige, and the desire to own something that no one else in the world has. And the 2008 penny embodies this perfectly, reminding us that history, chance, and human fascination combine to create value far beyond the metal itself. And when news of this coin spread, it reignited interest in modern era coins, proving that not all treasures are ancient, and that even coins struck in recent decades can hold unimaginable value. And this has motivated a whole new generation of collectors to examine every penny carefully, to learn about double dies, off-metal strikes, and die clashes, and to hope that they too might stumble upon the next $1 million discovery. And so the story of the 2008 1-cent coin worth $1 million is not just about a single coin. It is about the excitement of possibility, the passion of collectors, the unpredictability of history, and the way a tiny error can create a treasure that changes lives. And if you enjoyed this journey into the world of hidden treasures and the amazing story of the 2008 penny, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories of rare coins, and keep searching your change, because you never know when the next life-changing discovery might be sitting right in your pocket. And with that, we conclude our exploration of the legendary 2008 1-cent coin that became worth $1 million because of its errors and mistakes, worth big money, describing the errors, mistakes, and possibilities which make it so valuable. Next, 2014, the Lincoln Penny. We uncover the unbelievable stories of how something as small and ordinary as a penny can turn into a multi-million-dollar fortune. And today, we will dive into one of the most fascinating cases in modern numismatics, the 2014 1-cent coin that has been reported to sell for as much as $4 million because of the errors and mistakes that make it so extraordinary and valuable. And as we explore this story together, you will understand how an everyday coin minted in Denver in 2014 became a legend in the collecting world, and why collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for something that at first glance looks like nothing more than pocket change. Because this is not just a story about money, it's about history, rarity, and the thrill of discovery that keeps collectors searching through rolls of coins, hoping to find that one special piece that could change their lives forever. So let's start with the background. The 2014 1-cent coin was part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, and specifically it featured the Union Shield reverse design, which had been introduced in 2010, replacing the Lincoln Memorial reverse and symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a unified nation after the Civil War. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these coins in 2014, making them extremely common in circulation, and to most people indistinguishable from any other penny yet hidden among the billions of ordinary examples are coins that carry mint errors, and it is those errors that elevate them from 1 cent to millions of dollars in value. And the 2014 D penny has become famous for producing some spectacular errors that collectors and grading services have confirmed and auction houses have celebrated, because the types of mistakes that occurred that year at the Denver Mint combined rarity, drama, and visual appeal in ways that create the perfect storm for collectability. Now let's dive into the kinds of errors that make the 2014 D 1-cent coin worth up to $4 million, starting with one of the most exciting categories, doubled die. As a doubled die occurs when the design on the die itself is impressed twice at slightly different angles during the hubbing process, so that when coins are struck, the lettering, numbers, or design features appear doubled. And in 2014 Denver minted cents, there are reports of doubled dies on the obverse, especially on the date, the letters of Liberty and I in God We Trust. When this doubling is dramatic and easily visible to the naked eye, collectors go crazy for it, because it is not just a minor variety, it is a bold mistake that should never have left the mint, yet somehow did, and coins like that become instant rarities. And when certified by PCGS or NGC at high grades, they can fetch incredible prices. Another major error linked to the 2014 D cent is the wrong planchet strike. This happens when a blank mint for another denomination is accidentally fed into the presses instead of the correct cent planchet. For example, if a dime blank slips in, the resulting coin will be smaller, lighter, and missing parts of the design, because the planchet does not fit properly in the cent die. These wrong planchet errors are highly valuable because they are rare to begin with, and when combined with the Lincoln cent series, they attract immense attention. Imagine a 2014 D penny struck on a dime blank in mint state red condition. That kind of piece would easily reach hundreds of thousands, and in the right bidding war could cross into multi-million territory. Then there are off-center strikes where the coin blank is not seated properly in the striking chamber, so that the design is shifted off to one side, leaving part of the coin blank and part showing Lincoln's portrait or the Union shield off balance. Collectors love dramatic off-center strikes, especially when the date and mint mark remain fully visible, because that proves the authenticity and rarity. In some cases, a 50% off-center strike on a 2014 D penny with crisp details could be worth tens of thousands or more. And again, when the coin combines multiple errors, like doubling plus off-center, the rarity multiplies exponentially. Another class of error that makes the 2014 D penny so valuable is die breaks or cuts, when a part of the die literally cracks or breaks off during production, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin surface. These kinds of dramatic cuts can cover parts of Lincoln's portrait or the rim, creating a unique look, and collectors are drawn to them because each one is one of a kind. And some 2014 D cents with large die breaks have been certified as major mint errors, fetching astonishing prices. Then we have broad strikes where the coin is struck without the collar that normally shapes its edges, causing it to spread out larger and flatter than normal. And these can be spectacular to see with a stretched design and missing rim. And the Denver Mint in 2014 was running huge volumes of production, meaning the chance for mistakes like this was higher than in smaller mint runs. Another dramatic error type is double strike, where the coin is struck once and then struck again off center or rotated so that two overlapping designs appear. These double struck coins are showpieces at auction, often selling for huge premiums, and a double struck 2014 D penny could easily be part of the reason why values are estimated at millions. Yet another incredible error possibility is the transitional planchet strike, where a coin is struck on a planchet intended for another year's composition, or even a foreign coin blank. These are among the rarest of all mint errors, and when they happen on modern coins, like the 2014 D cent, they stand out dramatically because they are not supposed to exist, and when authenticated, they often reach legendary prices of several $1 million. Now, beyond the error types themselves, what drives the value into the $4 million range is the combination of factors: condition, rarity, demand, and provenance, a coin with a spectacular error in poor condition might be worth thousands, but in gem mint state with blazing red luster it suddenly leaps into the stratosphere of valuation. Collectors are also fiercely competitive, especially for modern rarities, because they know there are very few examples, and the bragging rights of owning one can drive bids sky high. Provenance also plays a role. If a coin is discovered in a famous hoard, or is sold at a prestigious auction house, it carries added historical weight that makes it even more desirable. The 2014 D1 set, valued at $4 million, is thought to be a combination of bold doubling, wrong planchet strike, and pristine condition, creating a once-in-a-lifetime rarity. And that explains why such a common-looking coin can fetch such an extraordinary price at auction. The psychology of collectors also matters. Owning a coin like this is not just about investment, it is about history and prestige, and the knowledge that you possess something virtually no one else has in the world. The Lincoln Cent series has always been the most popular among U.S. collectors because everyone has seen and used these coins, and the idea that an ordinary penny from your pocket could be worth millions creates a sense of magic and possibility that fuels the hunt. Stories of ordinary people finding rare cents in pocket change or coin rolls only add to the allure and keep collectors motivated to search every 2014 D cent they come across just in case they are holding one of these multi-million-dollar treasures. To better understand why this is possible, think about previous famous cents like the 1955 double die obverse, the 1969 S double die, or the legendary 1943 copper cent. Each of these coins started out as mistakes, yet their rarity and visibility transformed them into icons worth hundreds of thousands or millions. And the 2014 D continues that tradition, proving that modern coins too can contain spectacular errors with staggering value. What makes this even more exciting is that because 2014 is so recent, many of these coins are still out there waiting to be discovered, tucked away in change jars, rolls from the bank, or even in everyday transactions. And the possibility of finding one keeps the dream alive for collectors around the world. Imagine pulling a penny out of your pocket, looking closer, and realizing the date or lettering is doubled, or that the strike is off center, or that the weight feels wrong because it is on a foreign planchet. Suddenly, you could be holding a $4 million treasure in your hand. This is why the story of the 2014 D penny is so compelling. It's not just about an isolated coin, it's about the endless potential for discovery, the reminder that treasures hide in plain sight, and that history, mistakes, and chance can come together to create something truly extraordinary. Last 2018 D Lincoln Penny. Thank you for joining us today, because we are about to dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of rare coins. A story that takes something as small and ordinary as a penny and transforms it into a treasure worth millions. Yes, we are talking about the incredible 2018 D1 cent coin that has shocked collectors, dealers, and even casual observers by being valued at an unbelievable $2 million because of the rare errors and mistakes that occurred during its production. Now you may be wondering, how could a coin minted so recently in the year 2018 carry such astronomical value when billions of these coins were made and are still in circulation today? The answer lies in the fascinating world of minting errors, production anomalies, and the insatiable demand among collectors for unique examples that set themselves apart from the billions of ordinary pieces. So let's break down exactly what makes the 2018 D penny such an extraordinary story, and why experts say it is one of the modern marvels of numismatics, starting with the fact that 2018 was a year in which the Denver Mint, represented by the D Mint mark, produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents using highly sophisticated and technologically advanced machinery. Yet even with all the advancements in quality control and precision, mistakes can and do still happen. Sometimes in subtle ways, and sometimes in dramatic ways. And in this case, a handful of 2018 D pennies left the mint with multiple striking errors that catapulted their rarity and desirability to legendary status. One of the most discussed errors seen on this penny is the double die, where the die shifts slightly before striking the coin a second time, producing doubling that can be seen on the date, the mint mark, the motto "In God We Trust," and the word liberty. On strong examples, this doubling is crisp and highly visible to the naked eye, creating letters and numbers that look shadowed or doubled. Another incredible error involves off-center strikes where Lincoln's bust is not properly aligned on the planchet, leading to coins with part of the design missing and portions of blank metal clearly visible. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the more valuable the coin, especially when the date is still fully visible, which allows for identification. Then we also have broad strikes where the retaining collar failed to hold the planchet in place, so the coin spread out unnaturally wide while still carrying the design, producing a distorted penny that immediately stands out from normal examples. And there are also wrong planchet errors, which are some of the rarest and most exciting, in which the 2018 D penny was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination such as a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin. These wrong metal or wrong denomination strikes are spectacular finds because they create hybrid coins that should not exist, and their rarity drives prices into the stratosphere. Another possibility is a clipped planchet error where the blank itself is missing a crescent-shaped portion, creating a strikingly odd coin that collectors love. Now, while all of these errors can occur in different years, what made the 2018 D penny particularly special was that one remarkable specimen combined multiple errors in such a dramatic way that it became a one-of-a-kind piece, authenticated by professional grading services, preserved in superb condition, and presented at auction where determined bidders pushed its value to the record-breaking $2 million mark. This is where rarity, condition, and demand intersect, because although errors can be found fairly often, the rarest ones, with the most dramatic features in the highest grades, are what attract elite collectors willing to pay millions. And when you add the fact that the coin is from a modern era, making it even more shocking that such a minting mishap occurred under today's strict quality controls, the desirability skyrockets, and collectors see it as both a rarity and a modern miracle. Now let's talk about the psychology and excitement that surround such coins. When people hear that a common-looking penny from just a few years ago is worth millions, it sparks dreams and inspires people to start checking their pocket change. And that excitement alone fuels interest in the coin, increasing its fame and in turn its market value. Imagine someone unknowingly spending or saving a coin like this only for it to later surface as a multi-million-dollar treasure. It reminds us that numismatics is not just about history but also about the thrill of discovery and the possibility of finding life-changing money in something as small as a penny. Now, what are the telltale signs collectors look for on a 2018 D penny? First and foremost, check for doubling on the obverse, especially on the date and mint mark, because any clear doubled die varieties are considered valuable. Then look at the rims and overall alignment of the design to see if it may be off-center or broad-struck. Next, weigh the coin, because if it does not weigh the standard 2.5 grams, it could have been struck on the wrong planchet. And if the coin is thinner and lighter like a dime planchet or thicker and heavier like a nickel planchet, that could be the jackpot. Also inspect for missing sections or clips which are easy to see along the edge. All of these details must be carefully studied under magnification, and collectors often send suspected rarities to grading services like PCGS or NGC for authentication, because certified examples always fetch higher prices at auction. And the fascinating thing about the 2018 D penny story is that it proves even modern pocket change has the potential to contain treasures. We often think million-dollar coins only come from centuries ago, like old gold pieces or rare colonial issues. But here we have a coin minted just a few years ago that rewrites that assumption. It also makes you realize that rarity is not always about age but about uniqueness and error. A coin can be fresh off the press yet worth millions if it is unlike anything else, and the 2018 D penny is the perfect example. Collectors now search rolls of 2018 D pennies, comb through their jars and bank boxes, and scour coin shows hoping to find another dramatic error. Because if one coin sold for $2 million, there could be others still undiscovered, hidden in circulation, waiting to shock the world again, and this dream of discovery is what keeps the hobby alive and thriving, with new collectors entering every day motivated by stories like this, and as more people search, the legend of the 2018 D penny only grows, cementing its place in coin collecting history. And what's even more remarkable is the way auctions can change everything, because when two or more wealthy collectors decide they must own a coin, bidding wars break out and drive prices to unimaginable levels. And that is how a penny becomes worth $2 million, the combination of rarity, eye appeal, provenance, and market demand colliding in a perfect storm, making the 2018 D1 set one of the most talked about coins of the decade. So next time you come across a 2018 D penny, don't dismiss it as ordinary pocket change. Take a closer look, because there may still be treasures hiding in plain sight, treasures that could change your life. And even if you don't find the $1 million example, understanding what makes these coins valuable enriches your collecting journey and connects you to the thrilling world of numismatics, where history, art, chance, and human error converge to create miracles in metal.